If you're like most Americans, 2022 was a devastating year. Most people lost 30% of their retirement or more and are now having to contend with rebuilding their wealth in their golden years. If you're in that boat and are looking for answers, even a survival plan, I urge you to pay very close attention, because what you're about to see, it's going to change the way you think about investing. More than that, it's going to show you how you can double or even triple your money in just months. And the reason is simple. During the 2022 financial meltdown, while millions of Americans watched their portfolio and retirement dreams fade into a distant memory, the former floor trader and self-made millionaire you're about to meet was able to create one of the most impressive track records in modern history. A thoroughly documented real-world track record, including over 50 unique opportunities that could have more than doubled your money, handing you triple-digit gains. All bullish positions, and all delivered in 12 months or less, including calling out common, ordinary stocks anyone can buy, like Futu Holdings, before the stock climbed a money-doubling 106% in 56 days, and Daco New Energy Corp, prior to the stock rising over 114% in just 115 days, and Affirm Holdings Inc., which over just 97 short days handed shareholders gains as high as 172%. That's a rate of return that not only could have salvaged your retirement, but potentially could have tripled your savings in one of the worst bear markets in recent history, restoring and maintaining your wealth at a time when millions were left in the dark. Today, for the very first time, I'm sitting down with modern-day legend Costas Bocelli, as he breaks the silence, not only revealing how he spotted these mega winners, but also how he finds them just days before their massive upward moves. And he's gonna do more than that, because today he's going on the record with his next big call, revealing the details behind a rare stock market event now on the horizon, creating what this Wall Street veteran is calling a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, giving everyday Americans like you and me a shot at repeatable gains as high as 17 times your money or more, and as quick as in 5 days. That's right, this is one interview you simply cannot afford to miss. So sit back, relax, allow yourself this moment to see the situation with full clarity, because you're about to discover all of this and more right now. Trading legend, Mr. Costas Bocelli, welcome. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Absolutely, Brittany. It's my pleasure, and I'm glad we're able to arrange this time together. And please, call me Costas.
Sounds good, Costas. Now, let's get down to it. You're a former floor trader spending nearly a decade in the cutthroat pits of the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. Starting as a trainee, you quickly became a rising star, generating millions for one of the street's most profitable market makers. You not only survived and thrived during the Asian currency crisis and the dot-com bubble collapse, but most recently, the brutal markets of 2022, now considered the year of black swan events. Stocks, bonds, cryptos, all crushed, losing more than $30 trillion. Staple stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Google, aka Alphabet, chipmaker, Nvidia, and even electric car behemoth Tesla all close out the year in the red, showing significant double-digit losses ranging from 27 to 72%, leaving millions of Americans with what could be decades of lost wealth and without anywhere to turn. But then there was you, who walked away in the eyes of so many of us as a modern-day hero. In the middle of a market crash, you showed your followers a path to move forward, providing over 50 unique opportunities that would have allowed them to double or even triple their money in just days. I don't know of another analyst who could claim that kind of track record right now, Costas. It's amazing.
Well, I appreciate the praise, Brittany. I really do. 2022 was an incredible year for me and my team, and I believe there are more good times ahead.
Now, that's a very bold statement considering the state of the markets. A lot of people out there, myself included, are still very uncertain about where things will go in the days ahead. What makes you so confident?
I'm so confident because of my system, Brittany. All the gains that you just mentioned, they were simply the result of a proprietary stock picking system, one that I've spent years developing and perfecting. This system removes all the fear and all the anxiety around picking stocks. And it's helped me isolate hundreds of explosive opportunities, delivering significant gains, often in just a day, allowing me to confidently go on record time and time again, recommending stocks like Phillips 66, which promptly delivered a gain as high as 135% in just 32 days. And natural gas provider ONEOK, providing a more than a money doubling 140% in a short 115 days. And even oil field giant Baker Hughes Company, paying out gains as high as an extraordinary 263% return. That's over 3-to-1 on your money in just 42 days. This system is able to find these kinds of plays because it's looking at one unique metric, a metric that most retail investors don't even know exists, but has revealed huge breakout moves time and time again. And right now, my system is telling me another big move is on the horizon, an event that could very well create trillions of dollars in brand new wealth. And mark my words, Brittany, as this event unfolds, a handful of overlooked stocks could skyrocket in value. Those who get in on those stocks, I believe they could see gains as high as 17 times their money, if not more, in just days. That's why I decided to fly down from my home in coastal Carolina for this interview today. After the bloodshed of 2022, I know a lot of people are hurting right now, and the massive stock market event on the horizon could serve as a saving grace, allowing many people to recover and rebuild their retirement. And I want to help. That's why today I'm going to do something I haven't done before. I'm going to show everyone watching today how my system works. More than that, I'm going to give them all the details behind this explosive market-driven event and what could become one of the biggest market calls in my career. And no strings attached. The only thing I ask is that people pay attention, because we're talking about a relatively short window of time where anyone, and I mean anyone, regardless of experience or level of wealth, could witness dozens of short-term gains.
Well, I'm excited to hear about it. The opportunity to see big gains like this so quickly could become a real retirement game changer for those watching right now. But before we move on to this big event, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't do a bit more digging into your system, because what you're claiming, it's pretty incredible. Actually, almost unbelievable. So I wanted to do a little research of my own, and what I uncovered, well, it backs up your claim. You and your team, you have a unique ability. It's like you're always looking over the horizon, seeing things nobody else does, staying one step ahead of the mainstream media and the masses. For example, in February 2022, the Chinese government made a radical change to its economic policy. The news sends iron ore prices soaring to the highest level in 5 months, a move almost nobody would have predicted. The mainstream media missed it, so did many of Wall Street's top money managers. But yet, those who did nothing more than follow your work had the opportunity to position themselves just days in advance in front of this breaking event, capturing a gain as high as 425% on the mining giant PHP Group, paying out 5-to-1 on your money in just 69 days. And you know, it didn't stop there. You also told your followers about Tech Resources, another company set to benefit from soaring iron ore prices. That recommendation would have paid out an extraordinary 442% in just 57 days. And those mining plays were just the start. Less than 1 month later, your system highlighted another triple-digit opportunity. As global supply issues raged on, copper prices skyrocketed to all-time highs, where your followers, once again, and with near perfect timing, had the opportunity to witness an extraordinary gain, seeing a return on investment well over 260% on FCX in under just 40 days. That single opportunity, that could have turned a $3,000 stake into well over 10 grand. And it still doesn't stop there, Costas, because precisely 4 days later, gold prices spiked, closing just $10 or 0.6% from a historical all-time high, when yet again, almost like clockwork, those who simply followed your work found themselves uniquely positioned in both. Anglo Gold Ashanti and Barrick Gold, while seeing gains as high as 331% and 371% respectively, giving anyone a shot at turning $10,000 into well over 40 grand. Not once, but twice, and do so in under 49 days. For those keeping track at home, that's 5 triple-digit winners delivered in just the first 90 days of 2022. While most Americans were in the red as the broader market was crashing, Costas, your system was still able to uncover triple-digit opportunities. And your followers would have gotten in on those opportunities before the masses. They would have made huge gains in just weeks. Am I missing anything here? I know that was a lot, but...
No, you summed it up beautifully. The thing I love about my system is it doesn't matter what's happening in the world, economic crisis, war, political chaos, my system cuts through all that noise to find winning stocks. Better yet, in the case of many of the stocks that you just mentioned, my system was actually able to take advantage of global chaos and deliver landslide returns for my followers. My system only finds bullish opportunities of the highest conviction, opportunities that can double or triple your money or more, often in just days, while taking all the guesswork out of investing. In other words, when my system says buy, you buy. It's just that simple, and the potential gains can be extraordinary. Here are just a few more examples that prove that point. My system locked onto the stock symbol LI or Li Auto, just in time for the company's big announcement, revealing they just received over 30,000 pre-orders for their all-new electric SUV in just 72 hours, giving anyone a shot at a money-doubling 128% gain in 3 days. My system locked on to stock symbol SPLK or Splunk. Days later, the firm announced a multi-year contract extension with Wall Street giant Amazon, allowing anyone a shot at a respectable 151% gain in 48 hours. My system also locked onto Nikola Corporation. That symbol is NKLA, just days in advance of the firm receiving a favorable ruling with regulators. The news sent the stock soaring to a 5-month high, giving those who follow my work an extraordinary 217% gain. That's more than 3 to 1 on your money in just 6 days, all thanks to this systematic method of picking stocks.
Costas, gains like these are just extraordinary. Granted, they weren't all winners, and there is always a risk associated with any type of investment, right?
That's a great point, Brittany. Nothing in life is guaranteed, and I'd never recommend investing more than you can afford to safely lose. After all, there's no reason to bet the family farm on any one opportunity. But the beauty of my system is that it gives you a degree of security that you wouldn't get just investing blindly. My system hones in on a single, powerful metric, one that can isolate winning stocks with stunning accuracy. And as you'll soon see, anyone can start seeing gains like this for as little as $20, allowing anyone at home the chance to start small while pursuing a new path towards financial freedom.
I want to hear more about the metric behind the system, because the amount of money at stake here, Costas, it's astonishing. Last year in 2022, your system locked onto what, over $100 million in profit?
Brittany, based upon real-time data, I'm talking about actual time-stamped opening trades. We estimate this system could have generated somewhere in the neighborhood of $357 million in potential profit in 2022 alone. Probably more, a lot more.
That's over what, 1.4 million a day in profit? You know, numbers like this, they're almost too good to be true. Hard to believe, if you know what I mean.
It's all true, Brittany.
Amazing. So how is your system finding these kind of opportunities, Costas? You mentioned a minute ago you've isolated a specific market signal, one that most retail investors don't even know exists.
The truth is that my system is unlike anything folks in the traditional retail space have ever seen before. You see, my revolutionary system runs every market day, all day, analyzing tens of millions of transactions as they are happening in real time. Always searching, looking for the highest level of conviction opportunities. And when it uncovers great plays, it analyzes them for one specific factor. I call it a shadow spike.
A shadow spike?
That's right, Brittany. Shadow spikes, as you'll soon see, are those bullish opportunities flying well under the radar of Wall Street, buried far deeper beyond the standard stock market data most people see, and yet had the potential to deliver extraordinary market-crushing gains. When my system identifies a brand new shadow spike opportunity, it provides me with all the details in real time, providing everything one needs to know in order to make a decision, including the stock symbol, the target price, and the time frame. All in all, it's found over 800 unique opportunities since I started using it, resulting in hundreds of millions of dollars in potential real-world profits, while most Americans are left in the dark. Today, I'm hoping to change that for you and your viewers at home.
So let me get this straight. When your system isolates a shadow spike, it tells you when to buy, what the upside potential could be, and the time frame. Costas, this is just incredible, unlike anything I've truly seen before. I love this level of clarity when it comes to investing. Can you show us a couple of real-world examples illustrating how the system actually works?
Yeah, take for example, July 18th, 2022, at exactly 2 p.m., precisely 2 hours before the market closed. My system alerted me of a brand new opportunity falling well below the radar of Wall Street. The company in question here was stock symbol MARA, or Marathon Digital. It's a firm focused on blockchain and the generation of digital assets. And you can see, looking at the chart, the stock had been trading sideways for months. But none of that mattered, because as you can see here, what my system saw was radically different. In fact, my system told me this down and out stock had the potential to soar up to 84%, if not more, within the next 60 days.
And looking at that graphic, I think I'm beginning to see why you call these shadow spikes. So you gotta tell me, what happened next?
Well, Brittany, what happened next is what makes this type of investing so exciting and potentially lucrative, because it didn't take 60 days to see a big double-digit return. In fact, it took just 2 hours before my system's prediction began to come to light. Because after the market closed, the company announced news of a brand new 5-year, 200 megawatt hosting agreement. That agreement sent the stock soaring, handing shareholders a gain of 86% in just 25 days.
Wow, talk about precision.
Exactly, Brittany. Best of all, it's simple to use. For folks who don't want to invest hours of their time into research and analytics, this takes the guesswork out of the market. Here's another example. My system locked on to Enovix Corporation, which, as you can see by the chart, shares in this small firm which specializes in custom 3D silicon lithium-ion batteries have been sliding for months. But as you'll see, none of that mattered, because on May 26, 2022, my system issued a brand new shadow spike alert, indicating this under-the-radar firm was in a position to potentially see their shares rise by no less than 61% in under 240 days. Over the few short weeks that followed, it was like a parade of good news. The company announced it had begun shipping brand new battery packs to commercial customers, had received a big US military contract extension, in addition to an upbeat earnings report, all resulting in a swift rise in stock price, giving those who simply bought the stock when my system issued the alert a shot at gains as high as 128%, more than double your money in just 81 days.
Costas, your shadow spike strategy is really starting to grow on me. I just love the idea of knowing when to invest, what to invest in, and the time horizon. It's like somehow your system can predict things that almost no one could expect with remarkable results. I don't want to sound cliche or anything, but it's like having a crystal ball in front of me, seeing tomorrow's headlines today. For example, among some of your recent winners, you recommended Qualcomm. Days later, news breaks. The United States Senate's new CHIPS Act was, quote, moving forward. The story pushes Qualcomm's stock up and fast, giving those who followed your recommendation a well-timed 224% gain in just 23 days. You recommended chemicals firm, US Silica Holdings, just days before the company releasing a massive earnings report, posting a staggering 22% jump in revenue. Those who followed your well-timed advice witnessed a money-doubling gain of 138% in just 22 days. And your call in Tilly's, yet again, another well-timed call, and just days ahead of the company announcing a special $1 dividend. As you'd expect, the news created a surge in the firm's stock price, where once again, anyone who simply followed your advice could have seen a quick 150% gain in just 21 days. I mean, I could go on and on. But Costas, I just have to ask, how is it possible your system can produce these seemingly random predictions, staying just days ahead of explosive news and events? In essence, exploiting opportunities almost nobody can predict. Are you looking at some kind of insider data? Is this even legal?
Brittany, I can assure you of two things. First of all, I can promise you this simple yet powerful method of investing is 100% legal. Secondly, you're far from alone in that line of questioning. My friends, colleagues, even my longtime golf buddies often ask the same question, especially when they hear of the wide range of extraordinary opportunities my followers get to see. Like when my system locked on the Canada Goose Company, just in time for the luxury jacket maker to announce 2 brand new US-based locations, giving anyone a shot at gains as high as 145% in 9 days. Or when my system locked on the Constellation Energy, just days prior to the company announcing a multi-million-dollar contract with the US Department of Energy, allowing my followers to see gains as high as 446% or 5-to-1 on your money in just 20 days. Or even when my system called out Altice USA, just days later, a Bloomberg report breaks, revealing that the firm was working with Goldman Sachs to sell their South Central US cable and internet business for $20 billion, giving anyone a shot at gains as high as 327% in just 8 days. These are just a few examples of the jaw-dropping results, and I can go on. But to fully answer your question, Brittany, not only is this systematic method of investing completely legal, but it's protected by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, specifically what's known as SEC Rule 10b5-1.
And what exactly is SEC Rule 10b5-1?
Well, Brittany, in the simplest of terms, it's the rule defining insider trading, clearly defining it as trades made on the basis of material non-public information, which is significant because my system, which I call the dark money indicator, is designed from the ground up to exploit only publicly available information. I'm talking about extremely hard to find, yet very public information, buried within tens of millions of transactions and the tens of billions of dollars flowing under the radar of Wall Street on a daily basis, looking for that estimated 1 in a million opportunity hidden in plain sight.
Okay, Costas, now I need to know even more. I want to know more details on how this works.
Well, I can't give you all the details. After all, this breakthrough system is proprietary and based upon my years working as a floor trader. But I can tell you this, Brittany, my dark money indicator goes far beyond stock market charts and pricing data, beyond the information you may find in SEC filings or earnings reports and such. My system is radically different. It uses a powerful computer algorithm, what I consider to be almost super intelligence. It's based upon a lucrative method of investing that I discovered while trading options on the floor of the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. Something scientists may call networked intelligence. Without getting too technical, networked intelligence is simply when one uses data collected from multiple sources in order to improve decision making. Think honeybees for a moment.
Honeybees?
Yes, honeybees are a perfect example of networked intelligence. After all, individual bees are widely intelligent, but a lone bee could never survive on its own, which is why they band together and they colonize in hives. And that's where the real magic happens, because inside the hive, individual bees not only work together, but they share information. In fact, all the critical information needed for the hive's survival, like where to find nectar-rich food sources, based upon the location of the sun, what predators are lurking outside the hive, how much honey is currently available, all this information and more is freely flowing throughout the hive, available to all, resulting in a far superior collective intelligence. Intelligence that could rival a real human brain. Scientists now call this phenomenon a hive mind.
I've heard of this hive mind concept. In fact, I recently read this hive mind idea is now being used by both NASA and the Pentagon. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, they are now using this new form of collective or network intelligence in order to share real-time information between individual satellites orbiting our Earth, and even dispatching drone swarms that in essence make decisions collectively almost like a single entity while protecting our skies.
That's exactly right, Brittany. I discovered this powerful hive mind concept while working in the trenches of the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. Because being on the floor of the stock exchange is like tapping into a hive mind of the markets. I mean, working inside the crowded pits, elbow to elbow with some of the most talented and competitive traders in the world, it's unlike anything you can imagine. It's like not only hearing the buzz of the markets, Brittany, you can feel it. When the bulls are running, the greed can make you almost giddy. And when the markets are uncertain, you recognize the fear in the eyes of those around you. And more importantly, when some big whale tips their hand, revealing they're going all in, looking for their next big score, those who hear the buzz quick enough can use that information to potentially make a small fortune on their own, creating what I consider to be the ultimate edge in the market. My breakthrough system takes this powerful concept to a whole new level, because my system, in essence, creates its own hive mind, tapping into 14 different networks, evaluating tens of millions of transactions and the billions of dollars put to work by some of the most sophisticated investors in the world, while monitoring roughly 1.4 million potential trigger points throughout the market and in real time. Now, to return to the shadow spike alerts method earlier, those shadow spikes are basically my system listening to the buzz in the markets, the first ripple in a pond. And that's why the dark money indicator is so incredible. It isolates these powerful shadow spikes, allowing me to find those 1 in a million opportunities that deliver double or even triple digit gains long before anyone else, making it one of the most powerful systems in the world.
And I think I'm beginning to see why. Costas, take us through how this all comes together, using a simple yet real-world example.
I have the perfect one, Starbucks. My system locked on to Starbucks on May 23rd, 2022. At the time, the overall market was down, showing losses in the double digits, with Starbucks falling even harder, down nearly 40% on the year. In fact, with COVID and a host of unionization challenges, stock had just recently hit a brand new 52-week low. But in the end, none of that mattered, because while most people just saw a stock in decline, my system saw an opportunity. But more specifically, my system had identified a shadow spike from within its vast network, meaning among the thousands of stocks within the investment universe, Starbucks specifically was now poised to deliver big, double-digit gains within the next 207 days. It's like I said before, Brittany, with every shadow spike opportunity, I'm presented with when to buy, what to buy, the upside potential, and the time frame. But there's one more critical piece of information provided by my system, something that separates it from virtually everything else. Because with every shadow spike opportunity, I'm also presented with a level of conviction behind each opportunity as detected from within my system's vast network.
All right, now I gotta say I'm intrigued. Not only does your system say when to buy, what to buy, the time frame, and the potential profit, but the level of conviction behind each opportunity?
Correct. Let's return to the Starbucks example. My system was telling me that not only was Starbucks stock now poised to deliver double-digit gains within the next 207 days, but perhaps even more importantly, it also revealed to me that someone, somewhere within my system's vast network was going all in, putting more than $13 million on the line, making a big bet this Starbucks prediction would come true.
Costas, that is a staggering amount of money.
You bet it is, especially once you realize that $13 million bet was more or less a down payment, representing a $390 million stake in Starbucks stock.
390 million? That's a very large bet. So what happened next?
Well, as it turns out, Brittany, not only did my system's prediction come to life, but it paid off big time for anyone who simply followed this shadow spike alert, because within just a few days, the stock skyrocketed, followed by a quote, unquote, blockbuster quarterly earnings report, handing shareholders a market-crushing 44% gain, beating out the overall market by a staggering 13-1 in exactly 193 days. And as for the anonymous trader who created the buzz within my system's network, putting over $13 million on the line, they could have walked away with an estimated profit of well over $72 million.
It's almost like they knew exactly how to position themselves in front of this big earnings report. How could anyone know this without having access to the company's books and then acting in bad faith?
I can understand where you're coming from, but to believe that these opportunities are all a result of some nefarious activity would be a mistake, undermining the real potential behind these shadow spike opportunities. After all, these shadow spikes generated by my system are all high conviction opportunities where someone, somewhere is going all in, potentially risking millions in order to control hundreds of millions in stock. We're talking about some of Wall Street's most sophisticated investors, hedge funds, private money managers, and deep-pocketed investors who could be controlling billions, if not trillions of dollars. Firms who could be exploiting alternative data never available before now in order to gain a real edge in the market. My breakthrough system levels the playing field, providing a virtual backdoor into these lucrative plays, giving ordinary folks a shot at extraordinary gains.
Could you quickly touch on this new alternative data you're talking about and how it's being used by all of these big fund managers?
Right now, there are approximately 445 companies, mostly consisting of small boutiques you'll rarely, if ever, hear about in the mainstream media. Many of them have deep deep ties to the defense, intelligence, and law enforcement community because of their expertise in delivering very specialized information, the type of intelligence that can make you a fortune in the market, making it one of the hottest trends in Wall Street history, with hedge funds and big-time fund managers now spending nearly $2 billion a year to get their hands on some of the most powerful and most insightful data sets ever created. I'm talking about real, actionable intelligence, far beyond anything available to ordinary folks like you and me. In fact, what I'm about to share may even shock you and your viewers at home, because while most Americans are in the dark, today's big fund managers are now exploiting this brand new wave of alternative data in order to see things almost no one else can. For example, they're tracking your credit card charges. They're reading your receipts. They are tracking the apps you use on your phone, watching where you go to spend your time and your money. And that's just the beginning. Using state-of-the-art satellites orbiting the Earth, they're tracking even more, from the global flow of oil and cargo ships, airline travel patterns, crop yields, mine production, manufacturing and smelting plant activities, and more. They're monitoring vehicle traffic patterns, parking lots, even the foot traffic walking throughout the cities, all from space. They then use this information to gain an almost unfair advantage in the markets. In fact, it's been revealed by both academics and industry insiders, one could predict a favorable Starbucks earnings report by either using satellite images of retail parking lots, in essence, counting the number of customers in cars, or alternatively, buying and capturing the data contained within emailed receipts. Either way, as you can imagine, deep-pocketed firms who can afford this expensive data and have the means to process it could easily stay one step ahead of the media and the masses while making a real fortune in the stock market. And it's already happening. Today, 80% of hedge funds are now using sophisticated alternative data to gain a real edge in the markets, which could easily explain why in 2022, my system locked on to well over a dozen big winners just within the restaurant and retail sector alone, calling out stocks like Macy's, Rite Aid, Big Lots, Gap, and as I mentioned before, Starbucks, just to name a few, all delivering double-digit gains as high as 43% in as little as 4 days. And all this just helps illustrate how dynamic this type of investing can be. Because as I mentioned, my system is tapping into a vast network, tracking billions of dollars each day while following the moves of some of Wall Street's biggest and savviest traders, allowing you to virtually tap in the same powerful tools and information influencing their decisions. So in a way, my system gets smarter each day, staying step by step with the titans of Wall Street and every new advantage they discover. Without a doubt, Brittany, there's never been a better time than now, I mean right now, to leverage this powerful method of investing, which is why I'm here with you now.
Costas, you have blown me away today. So let me just take a moment and make sure I'm following you correctly. Your system tells you when to buy, what to buy, complete with the time frame and profit potential, and the level of conviction behind every opportunity. So in essence, alerting you of a brand new buzz in the market, potentially a big hedge fund with deep pockets and access to priceless research or information, who is now making a big time bet in exchange for a massive payday. And all you have to do is act on that same information. The only thing missing here is the why.
That's exactly right, Brittany. That's as simple as it gets.
So in a way, this isn't much different than investing my money in one of those elite hedge funds, assuming I could even get my foot in the door. Or more importantly, assuming I have $1 million cash to put at risk here, right? Willing to pay those hefty fees. That's a minimum of 20 grand a year in fees, plus a chunk of all of my profits. You know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't know why they were able to deliver the returns that they do. Alternatively, there's your powerful system, which in essence could provide anyone watching with a virtual backdoor to these potentially lucrative plays, even those with a small stake and without paying a big management and performance fee. And perhaps more important than ever before, a real-world shot at double or even triple-digit gains, doing nothing more than simply following in the footsteps of some of the market's biggest investors and funds. It's like your system provides hedge fund level research, delivering one explosive opportunity at a time on a giant silver platter. Costas, this is just amazing. Now, I know our audience is waiting to hear all about your big prediction, which you claim could show anyone gains as high as 17 times your money in just days. But first, I have to say, I'm curious. What are some of the unique opportunities you see using this powerful method of investing?
That's another great question, Brittany, because my system has allowed my followers a chance to position themselves, often just days in advance, in front of a wide array of events, such as earnings surprises, with calls like AutoNation, resulting in a gain as high as 5-1 on your money in 27 days. Mr. Cooper Group paying out gains as high as 590% in just 2 weeks. And H&R Block returning an extraordinary 870% return in 97 days. These earning surprises alone could be a game changer for anyone looking for a portfolio boost. And then there are the unexpected opportunities too, like when my system locked on to Lithium Americas Corporation. It's an electric vehicle battery company. Days later, President Biden invoked the Defense Production Act to boost EV battery production, giving anyone with access to my system a chance at tripling their money in 9 days. Or when my system called out the small biomedical firm Exelixis, just days before they announced the beginning of a stage 3 trials of a brand new cancer treatment, moving the company one step closer to FDA approval, while giving anyone a shot at gains well over 140% in 18 days. Or when I recommended General Motors, just days in advance of the company announcing a brand new electric pickup truck, the Sierra EV Denali Edition 1, becoming the industry's only brand to offer 3 different electric trucks, providing those who simply followed my recommendation an extraordinary shot at more than tripling their money in 43 days.
This is without a doubt incredible. It appears to me your breakthrough system could be a real retirement game changer for those at home, helping anyone get in front of some of the market's biggest events. Events that could easily drive a stock's price through the roof. I mean, just in this short time that we've had together, you've revealed big commodity moves like iron, copper, gold, oil, and gas plays, earnings surprises, defense contracts, FDA trials, and of course, those big news announcements, giving anyone, even small-time investors, a shot at big market-crushing gains in just days. And remember, folks, these big winners happened in real time during one of the worst markets in history. Costas, this would be a dream come true for anybody that's serious about their financial future.
You're correct, Brittany. As you've seen here today, the gains produced by this system can be extraordinary and could become the difference between surviving and thriving in the days to come, or becoming one of the millions simply left behind. But if you walk away today with nothing else, allow it to be this. There's never been a better time to embrace this breakthrough method of investing than right now, and I mean right now. Because as impressive as these gains are, I believe it's just the beginning. More specifically, if my research is correct, we could be looking at a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that could change everything, beginning just days from now.
Now, I assume you're talking about your big prediction, a stock market event you predict could lead to some of the biggest and fastest gains in Wall Street history. Gains that you claim could pay out as much as 17 times your money in just days? Costas, I think I could speak for everybody. What is this massive event you say is now on the horizon? Because I just can't imagine what could be more impressive than anything we've seen so far.
Brittany, it could be one of the biggest wealth creation opportunities of our lifetimes. In short, I believe we are perhaps just days away from a massive stock market event, an event now on the verge of releasing a multi-trillion-dollar tsunami of cash. Cash predestined to flow into certain stocks, causing their share prices to explode virtually overnight, resulting in some of the biggest and fastest gains in modern history. And while that may seem like a bold statement, it's simply the obvious conclusion to what I'm going to share with your viewers today. Let me put it this way. Whether you have a war chest of capital or just a few bucks, Americans like you need to be prepared. Because if my research is correct, it won't matter which direction the market is heading or why. If you make the right moves right now, you could see repeatable gains that could easily exceed the returns provided by the 3 biggest bull markets in history combined, delivered in just a matter of days instead of decades. And it all begins with a specific type of opportunity my system's been locking onto with an alarming frequency. I'm talking about opportunities that quickly become headline news events, resulting in staggering results.
You mean something bigger than earnings surprises, defense contracts, and big global events?
Much bigger, Brittany. The rare opportunities I'm talking about can generate billions of dollars in brand new wealth, literally overnight. Here, let me give you a real life example. On March 25th, 2022, at precisely 10:33 in the morning, my system alerted me of a brand new shadow spike opportunity. And like many examples you've seen here today, the stock in question had been trading sideways for months. Yet my system, doing what it does best, spotted an opportunity. Now, Brittany, I don't want to reveal the name of this firm just yet, because first, I want to ask you, after everything you've seen today, if we could go back in time, would you want in on this opportunity?
Me personally? Well, you're not telling me the name of the company, and yet I gotta tell you, that doesn't even bother me. Because frankly, I haven't recognized a lot of the companies you've featured here, and that's what I love about what you've demonstrated today. Because I don't feel like I have to even know the companies to understand their business model or be an expert in anything. Your system does all the heavy lifting. But before I answer your question, this is a shadow spike alert, so you could at least provide me with the rest of the details.
Ha, that's fair enough. I'll reveal the name of the company in a moment. But for now, I'll say this brand new shadow spike alert was predicting that our mystery stock was poised to deliver outsized double-digit gains within 56 days.
And what was the conviction level behind this opportunity? Because now I want to know the amount of money Wall Street elites are pouring into this situation.
Well, you're a fast study, Brittany. $900,000 put at risk, controlling over $5 million stake in this firm.
Okay, I'm game. Count me in for $1,000 in this imaginary scenario we have going on. So tell me, Costas, what happened next?
Well, that's a good call, Brittany, because that simple move would have put you directly in front of a brand new wave of wealth. I'm talking about a staggering $12.1 billion payday, where as you'll soon see, just 4 days after the shadow spike alert, a breaking story took over the airwaves like wildfire, revealing that the world's richest man had just set his sights on this mystery firm and preparing to make an all-cash offer to buy out all the shares, sending the stock skyrocketing virtually overnight.
Are you talking about Elon Musk and the massive all-cash buyout of social media giant Twitter? Costas, the Twitter buyout was headline news for weeks. People are still talking about it now. And you're telling me your system predicted this massive takeover event just days before it actually happened, giving your followers first access?
That's right, Brittany. As an ordinary investor, now playing on a level playing field and doing nothing more than following this shadow spike alert in real time, you could have witnessed an extraordinary 561% gain, turning your $1,000 stake into well over $6,000 in just 11 days.
That's like capturing an entire bull market worth of gains, but delivered in days instead of years, all thanks to the massive buyout event.
And that's the beauty of these big buyout opportunities. They can create billions of dollars in brand new wealth in just days, taking everything you've seen today to a whole new level, because there's nothing like the big, fast gains that can be delivered by the news of a big buyout. And this is just the beginning. My system is locking onto these big buyout events like crazy. In other words, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
So you believe there's more of these buyout plays just around the corner?
It's true. I believe we're in the midst of what will go down in history as the seventh wave.
The seventh wave? Tell me more.
Well, Brittany, throughout our country's history, there have been times where merger and acquisition activities flourish. They're known as merger waves. These are rare events. You may only witness once or perhaps twice in your investing lifetime, if at all. According to historians, there have only been 6 mega merger waves in our great nation's history. What's known as the first merger movement began in 1897, brought on by a wave of consolidation in industries such as steel, electrical equipment, and the railroads, things you may have read about in the history books. In the 1960s, there was the conglomerate era, followed by the leveraged buyout wave of the 1980s, which has since been glorified in a wide array of books and Hollywood films like Pretty Woman, Barbarians at the Gate, and the movie Wall Street. Then there was the 1980s savings and loan crisis, the tech telecom boom of 1997, and most recently, the 2008 global financial crisis, resulting in a wave of mergers and acquisitions in the financial sector as banks scrambled to strengthen their balance sheets and consolidate in response to the financial crisis. Now today, thanks to the devastating effects of 2022, with a vast majority of stocks down and now trading for an average of 70 cents on the dollar, And combined with the unprecedented levels of dry powder just sitting on the sidelines, it's like a powder keg just waiting to ignite, generating a massive wave of stock buyouts. In fact, I believe we could be looking at the beginning of what could go down in the history books as the biggest merger wave in history.
What is this dry powder term you keep using?
It's the industry term used to describe the money inside the coffers of Wall Street's biggest private equity firms, including big buyout firms like KKR, the Carlyle Group, Apollo Global Management, just to name a few of them. Right now, these Wall Street behemoths are sitting on nearly $2 trillion. That's trillion with a T, just waiting to buy up companies, big and small. In other words, some of Wall Street's biggest players are about to go on a major spending spree, buying up companies at a rate and pace that could be record-smashing. And I'm far from alone in this line of thinking, with expert after expert going on record about the merger boom now on the horizon. In fact, in 2022 alone, my system was ahead of the headlines, calling no less than a dozen stocks just days before they became a target of a big buyout deal. And believe me when I say it, the big fast gains are out of this world amazing. As an example, my system locked on the Zendesk just in front of its big buyout announcement, providing gains as high as 197% in 41 days. We called out Kohl's just days before the retailer received an all-cash buyout offer, which could have more than tripled your money in just 5 days. I recommended Turquoise Hill Resources, which became the target of a big buyout, delivering a 217% gain in just 16 days. Or there was Maxar Technologies, which became the target of a $4 billion takeover, an event that would go down in history, while minting over $1.4 billion in brand new wealth in less than 24 hours, delivering an extraordinary gain, paying out well over 17 times your money in just 91 days.
Talk about game changing. That single play could have turned a $5,000 investment into 85 grand, seemingly just overnight.
Without a doubt, Brittany, these are the real world gains that could have changed the financial outlook of everyone at home today, if only someone would have stepped forward, revealing this powerful method of investing before now. Unfortunately, no one ever did. Today, I want to change that, at least for those watching right now. It's a simple fact. More and more Americans are being left behind each day. In 2022, ordinary Americans lost over $30 trillion, while those with access to my system had the chance to see an estimated $357 million in profit, including these massive buyout opportunities, which also included Preferred Apartment Communities' big buyout, leading to a gain well over 300% in just 9 days, and returns as high as 530% in 29 days when Western Digital got swooped up in a mega deal. And when ChemoCentryx became the target of a $3.7 billion buyout, my system once again delivered an extraordinary gain as high as 959%. That's a return on investment, allowing anyone a shot at turning $10,000 into well over 100 grand in just 92 days.
These buyout deals, they take your system to a whole new level.
Just one of these opportunities could have made a real difference in the lives of those watching. But I'm not here to talk about the past, because while my system may have been ahead of the headlines, getting in front of these massive buyout deals at least a dozen times last year, I believe this is merely the beginning. With trillions of buyout dollars just sitting on the sidelines, I fully expect that number to double or even triple in the year ahead. We're looking at a massive buyout event unlike anything we've seen since 2008. It's unlikely we'll see another opportunity like this, at least not for 10 years or more. And that is why I'm coming forward today. I want to level the playing field, helping ordinary Americans take on the establishment and reclaim their financial independence, which is why I'm going to give everyone listening today the chance to access my system and get its next big calls before this buyout bonanza begins.
I love the sound of this, and I'm dying to hear where this is going. What did you have in mind?
Well, this will be my first time unveiling this project to the public, and it was important to me that this research was affordable. I'm not trying to be like those hedge funds, boxing ordinary folks out. So I had my team start consolidating my research into a brand new project called Dark Shadows Weekly.
And it's just like the name sounds, each and every week you'll receive a Dark Shadows Profit Alert report revealing all the details of a brand new shadow spike opportunity,
including when to buy, what to buy, the price target, the time frame, and the level of conviction behind the opportunity. I'll then go beyond that. I'll provide you with what my research is telling me, including any big announcements, contracts, or earnings reports that may be on the horizon, or any other buzz that I may hear in the market. Moreover, I'll explain in explicit details, including 2 different plays about how to maximize each opportunity based on your investment goals. I then package all this information up in a tight little report revealing everything you need to know about the opportunity at hand and deliver it to you in an email each week, which you can easily consume in less than 5 minutes.
Costas, this sounds like a fantastic opportunity. You're delivering hedge fund level research one opportunity at a time each and every week, basically on a silver platter, allowing me to be in full control over which opportunities I pursue and how much I actually want to invest, without having to put $1 million or more at risk or paying outlandish hedge fund fees. Now, speaking of fees, I'm almost afraid to ask how many thousands this service is going to cost each year. Although based upon everything we have seen, it would kind of be worth it. But first, I want to clarify. You mentioned that in each Dark Shadows Profit Alert report, you would include 1 brand new shadow spike opportunity and 2 ways to play. Can I assume you're talking about investing in the stock versus investing in a stock option?
That's precisely correct, Brittany. I want Dark Shadows Weekly to be a product any investor can use to complement their unique investing goals. So each and every hot off the press issue of Dark Shadows Weekly will contain an ordinary stock opportunity, ideally suited for the more conservative investor, those seeking to grow their retirement, their child's or their grandchild's college fund, or even those wanting to use fractional stock services like Robinhood, allowing anyone to use this powerful research regardless of level of wealth. And then I'll also include at least 1 way to leverage a stock option, just like the big time investors within my vast system, giving you a shot at potentially much greater gains. Either way, this service is designed to trade just a small percentage of your overall portfolio. We're talking about modest bets here or discretionary investing.
Again, I love the level of precision and control your system and now your research will be providing. And I love how I can choose between investing in a stock or an option. But as a former floor trader, working as an options market maker on the floor of the Philadelphia Stock Exchange, what would you say to those in our audience who might believe stock options are perhaps too high risk or dangerous?
Well, first of all, Brittany, allow me to say stock options, like all investments, do carry risk. And while Wall Street and the mainstream media may talk about stock options as the world's greatest mystery, the fact of the matter is stock options are not hard and can enhance the returns on any successful investment. Not only are stock options used by Wall Street's savviest investors like Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, Steve Cohen, and legendary investor Paul Tudor Jones, but celebrities like Tom Brady. Moreover, members of Congress trade hundreds of millions of dollars in stock options every year. Let me put it this way, if Nancy Pelosi has the ability to trade over $12 million a year in ordinary stock options, so can you. And again, this service is ideal for everyday stock investors too.
Could you perhaps give us a real-world example illustrating the differences?
Yeah, Brittany, let's use an example that is as American as apple pie. Let's talk about my recommendation for Ford Motor Company. Like every shadow spike alert, it came with all the details. This one told me Ford stock was poised to deliver double-digit gains, this time within 113 days. And since I know you're going to ask, Brittany, my system had detected this trade was of high conviction. Someone, somewhere, was putting over $600,000 on the line to control a block of stock worth nearly $3 million. Now, at this point in time, followers of mine had the opportunity to either invest directly in the stock, trading for just $16.86 a share, meaning anyone with a brokerage account could have purchased, say, 100 shares for just $1,686, or a single specific Ford options contract trading for $55, also representing the upside potential of controlling 100 shares. Either way, you could have come out a winner, because in just 78 days, Ford Motor Company not only lifted their earnings forecast for the 2nd quarter in a row, but went on record projecting a massive full-year profit forecast of $11.5 billion. Needless to say, shares in Ford Motor Company burned some serious rubber here. handing those who bought stock a respectable 44% return, smashing the paltry 1.73% return by the S&P 500. And those who followed the options play could have walked away with an extraordinary gain, well over 800%, or 9 times your money, again, in just 78 days.
Again, I gotta say, Costas, you have blown me away. But now let's get down to brass tacks. What does this service cost? I assume we're talking thousands here. And more importantly, how can our viewers at home get started?
So like I said before, my goal today is to help more Americans in achieving their own unique financial goals. I'm already a wealthy man. I could easily ride off into the sunset, trading my system on my own. I'm not in this for the money. I stepped forward today, not only to expose this powerful method of investing, but to put it in the hands of ordinary folks like you, and do so in a way anyone can afford. With that said, I'm not going to ask you for the thousands upon thousands of dollars this breakthrough research may be worth. In fact, my publisher and I agreed that $197 each month would be beyond a fair price for this service.
Wow, I gotta say, that's a lot more affordable than I was expecting you to come and say.
It gets better because right now, during the launch of this brand new service, we've decided to offer the charter discount for those early movers who truly see the value in what we're doing here today. With that in mind, those who sign up today can become a brand new member for just $49 a month right now.
I gotta say, that is an amazing opportunity. Frankly, I'm shocked and I'm even delighted.
Brittany, I haven't even gotten to the best part of it all. But before I get to that, allow me to tell you everything you get when you become a brand new member each and every week. You'll get your choice of an email, a text message, or both, letting you know a brand new, hot off the press weekly report is ready. Inside each report will be complete with all the details, including everything you need to know in order to comfortably make a decision with your money. You'll know when to buy, what to buy, the profit potential, the time frame, and the level of conviction behind the opportunity. I'll also provide you with my own commentary on the situation based upon my experiences as a floor trader and investor. I'll also provide you with at least 2 different investing options, including investing directly into stock with profit objective and stop loss instructions, and at least 1 stock option to consider, so you can always be in control in terms of risk and the amount you want to invest. Within just minutes, you'll be able to fire up your online brokerage account and place the trade of your choice with the freedom to move on with your day. Each and every opportunity will be available within our exclusive members-only archives, meaning just moments from now. And as a brand new member, you'll get instant access to our most recent alerts, which could include a handful of potentially explosive opportunities that you could get into today, just moments from now. And that's not all, because when considering the massive buyout opportunities in front of us, having access to timely information is more important than ever. That's why I've decided to introduce one more exclusive benefit for those who join today, and that's my Shadow Spike Spotlight training series, where each and every week you'll also get access to one brand new Shadow Spike Spotlight video. During these exclusive members-only training sessions, I'll break down a recent Shadow Spike opportunity right in front of your eyes. These videos will help you maximize your experience as a brand new member while potentially providing additional opportunities my members can take full advantage of. And all this and more could be yours as soon as you claim your charter membership.
This is without a doubt one of the most incredible offers I've ever heard, and far beyond anything I was expecting you to bring us here today.
I appreciate that, Brittany. As incredible as that may seem, I made a promise today at the beginning of this interview. A promise to all the hardworking Americans, ordinary folks like you and me that are watching today. And that was, I would show people how to start seeing extraordinary gains with nothing more than a $20 investment. And that's a promise I want to keep. So with that in mind, I want to invite everyone watching right now to test drive Dark Shadows Weekly for a full 30 days for just $20.
Wait, I gotta get this straight. You're offering anyone watching right now a chance to become a brand new member for just $20?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Brittany. I want to remove all the barriers. I want everyone to once and for all to have a chance to see double and triple digit gains in just days. Because once you have the opportunity to see gains like this in the real world and in real time, it will change the way you think about investing forever. So today, you can take the first step Simply click on the I accept link below and you can lock in your charter membership for just $20 for the first month. As a brand new Dark Shadows Weekly member, if you like what you see, and I know you will, do nothing and you will automatically be billed at the exclusive charter rate of just $49 a month for as long as you choose to remain a subscriber, meaning no price hikes ever. If on the other hand, for some reason or no reason at all, you're not over the moon excited about being a Dark Shadows Weekly member, simply reach out to my Maryland-based customer service team within the first 30 days and we'll promptly refund your $20, no hassles, and we'll part as friends. It's just that simple.
Costas, that is beyond generous of you.
Well, I'm glad you agree, Brittany, but I must warn you and your audience, you really must act now if you want to take full advantage of this offer. And the reason is simple. This is a brand new service, and we're limiting the number of charter memberships available at this low introductory rate, meaning I simply can't promise you this offer will be available even as late as tomorrow.
Folks at home, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground today. You've just witnessed one of the most powerful stock market systems in the world. A system that locked onto an estimated $357 million in profits in just 2022 alone. A system that can put you in front of potentially massive stock moves, including commodity moves, political events, earnings surprises, defense contracts, FDA trials, big news announcements, and even massive stock buyouts, like Activision Blizzard, delivering gains as high as 488% in 62 days. R.R. Donnelley & Sons, paying out gains as high as 779% in just 70 days. Chemocentrics, delivering a staggering gain as high as 959%. That's nearly 10 times your money in just 92 days. And of course, Maxar Technologies, a single stock buyout that could have handed you 17 times your money in just 91 days. These are the extraordinary stock gains that could have been yours with nothing more than access to this powerful system. And today, that can change for you. This is your invitation to join them. And it all begins with a $20 risk-free trial, giving you a full 30 days to test drive this brand new research service. It just doesn't get any easier than that. So please don't delay. To claim your exclusive charter membership, simply accept the invitation below, and you can become a new Dark Shadows Weekly member today. And it may change the way you think about investing forever. So you have everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose. Costas, Bocelli, thank you. This has been such an eye-opening experience.
It's been my pleasure, Brittany, and I look forward to helping your viewers in reaching their financial dreams.
And I believe you're gonna do just that. Well, there you have it, folks. Now it's up to you. Do you go at it on your own, or do you take advantage of this generous, risk-free offer today, giving you a shot at double or triple-digit gains, if not more, often in just one day? I think we all know the answer. So again, please don't delay. Accept your invitation below and get started today. On behalf of myself and Wall Street legend Costas Bocelli, thank you for joining us today. My name is Brittany Cascone, and until next time, take care.